Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today we have Real Talk for Lightworkers, episode 25, where we're going to talk about our addiction to drama and how to come down from it. Alright, so I think if we all kind of were willing to take a step back and honestly look at how the world is unfolding the way that it's unfolding right now, and honestly look at ourselves and our life choices and the way that we kind of react and respond to the stimuli of our life, we would have to admit that we are a human race, a species, that is addicted to drama. And we're addicted to stimulation. We're addicted to chaos, all right? So if you watched my video on boredom and why boredom is so important, and if you haven't watched that, I would highly recommend that you do, and I put the links down below. And again, if I didn't, please let me know that I didn't, and I will do that. You may have started to explore within yourself a resistance that you may have to stillness and to things just being calm and to things just being not chaotic and not stimulating. And if you are to start to notice that within yourself, right, that there is this part of you that absolutely wants peace, right, that wants calm, that wants to be centered, that wants to find this stillness, right? But then there is this other part of you that is actually kind of afraid of experiencing a life where you're not being stimulated. And I'm going to talk about this, okay? This stimulation that kind of, keeps us going and what most of us think of as excitement and whatever. You're going to start to notice that, right, when you're not being stimulated, when you're just simply being in a state, that there is actually a resistance within you to being in this state, all right? So now, when we look at the world and we look at the way that things are unfolding and the way that we participate in the way that things are unfolding, we have to recognize, okay, that, again, because we are fundamentally and foundationally a species in a state of fear, right? We are in this state where we believe that there is good and bad, right and wrong, should and should not be, that there is myself and there is other, right? That is what fear is, right? When we are in this state where we genuinely believe that life can and does go wrong, when we genuinely believe that there are people who are separate from us, that there's things that are separate from us, that there is the possibility of an enemy, all right? We are living in a state of fear, and we create an entire world, and we create an entire narrative, and we create systems, and we create all of these kind of ways that the world works right now out of this foundational, fundamental vibration or mental state of fear, right? And I was just thinking, like, the other night about racism, for instance, right? And we know that within human nature, right, racism is deep and has been going on for a very, 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 very long time. It has essentially been going on for as long as human history has been recorded. And I was thinking about how much trauma and drama and right, fear and stimulation is created just from this one kind of mindset, right, that there can be an other, that there are types of people that are different from my type, and that, not only are they different, they're wrong and they're bad and we need to protect ourselves from them, or they have, ulterior motives or motives that don't align with our motives, and we have to battle against each other to win, right? And so this is not a video where I'm going to try and dissect racism or say it's right or wrong or any of these things, because it simply, right now, it is, right? It's a fact of our reality. There is racism, right? And like I said, it's deep and it's long, and to just say, we should just do away with it or whatever, obviously that would be lovely, but that's not going to happen the way that we are right now. And with kind of this, right, culture that we live in that is highly racist and is highly sexist, and that there always is this idea of the other, right? We are constantly being stimulated right? Our adrenal glands, literally our adrenal system, is constantly being stimulated by the world and the reality that we exist in, with this continual narrative, right? That we are unsafe, that there is a threat, that there is an other that's out there, whether it be another race, whether it be nature itself, whether it be reality itself, whether it be your boss, whether it be your spouse, whether it be the government or a religious institution. It doesn't really matter, right? There's always this sense that there is an other that you need to be fighting against, and that you need to be kind of protecting yourself against, and that there is this drama and this right, this continual, like I say, stimulation from this idea of chaos that we're running from. And so that's kind of what it looks like on a global scale, right? And what I would say is, on the global scale, as much as you might feel like you're not participating in it, as much as you might feel like you're not a part of it, like you're not racist, you're not sexist, you're not homophobic, you're not out there fighting whatever, you may come to realize that even if you're not feeling like you're participating on a large level in these kind of chaotic systems that exist, you may be participating in that chaos in your own life, right? Through even just like watching the news and watching these things go on and reacting emotionally inside yourself, right? Like having that continual kind of, like I say, adrenaline response when you watch the news, when you listen to other people talk about what's going on in the world, when you read the newspaper, when you do all of these things, there is still this part of you that wants to know what's going on, right? And has that emotional response. Now, aside from that, right, you may notice that in your own life, right, when things are going well and when things are calm and when things are smooth, right, that you actually have a bit of a hard time handling that. And you may notice, if you really are doing the work to be aware of yourself and doing the work to really dig into what's going on with you and how you're reacting and responding to the world, you may notice that you create drama for yourself inside of your life whenever things seem to be going okay, all right? And that even within things that are not going okay, or, you know, in your perspective feel like they're not going okay, that you create extra drama and extra kind of chaos that would actually be necessary for the situation, okay? And I don't want you to confuse this with your emotional guidance system leading you to a path that's correct for you, all right? There's always, and I'm going to talk about this in the next video, right? Because we are beings who are here to grow and expand. And to a degree, okay, I want to kind of make this clear. To a degree, with that expansion, right, with that impetus to grow and that idea that we are always going to be on this evolutionary path, there is going to be a certain level of drama that is attached to that, right? There's still going to be shaking up of what you're doing now in order to move to a new place. So this video is not about, you know, you should become the Zen Buddha who never has an emotional reaction to the world ever again, okay? That's not what this is about. And I don't necessarily even think that that's something we should be striving for, right? Because we are human and we have emotions, and I don't think that those things are wrong, okay? And I think that, again, like I was listening to the Invisibilia podcast the other day, and the speaker said something along the lines of, you know, if Martin Luther King had just been like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll just sit at the back of the bus, no big deal, like I'm not going to make a drama out of this, we wouldn't be having the movement that we're seeing towards equality that should happen when people are being subjugated like that, right? So, like I say, there's going to be a certain level of drama in our world, I think, until we eventually move to all beings being in a state of love. And then I think that the expansion that is necessary for the human consciousness to continue on its journey will still occur, and we will still expand and we will still learn and grow, but I feel like we can get to a place where we're doing so from a place of knowing that where we are is okay and where we're headed is okay, and there is a lot less fear about the transition and what is coming, okay? So if we're going to come back to this kind of coming down from this addiction to drama, first thing that I'm going to recommend is that you start to look at your own life and where you are creating drama for yourself that's not necessarily necessary. And my biggest thing that I want to say here is, I believe, in my experience, okay, every time you reject yourself for how you feel about something, every time you tell yourself you shouldn't think what you think, every time you tell yourself you've made a huge mistake and you shouldn't have been that way, every time you disappoint somebody and you make it that you are this horrible person because you have done that, every time you reject yourself, you are creating drama in your life that doesn't need to be there, okay? So that's the first thing, right? Start to notice where you reject yourself and notice the cascade of drama that creates. And notice what would happen if you could allow yourself to be angry about something and just let yourself be angry about it, right? Go into a journaling place, go into meditation, speak with a friend who, you know, is a safe place for you that you can just vent, go scream into a pillow, whatever you need to do, but without this added layer of I shouldn't be angry, right? If you can just let yourself be angry and not make it mean that you're going to be angry forever, that you're a terrible person, that you're immature, blah, 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 blah. Just let that go and see what happens if you can just let yourself feel the emotion that you feel. If you really don't like a situation in your life, right? What if you just said, okay, this is the reality, I don't like this situation. It's not that I need to fix my attitude, it's not that I need to blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to, in this moment, embrace the idea that I don't like this thing. And I want you to watch and see how much drama in your life disappears when you allow yourself to just feel how you feel, to think what you think, and when you stop making yourself wrong for it. And then I want you to consider now, why do you feel like you need that extra level of stimulation, right? Because when we feel something, or we see something, or we notice something, or we we observe something, anything that goes on in our reality, and we judge it as wrong and bad, that shouldn't be happening, right? That's where that extra level of drama that we are all addicted to, that stimulation, comes in. So now, I want you to start to consider, what would your life be like if you didn't have that, right? What would your life be like if you didn't have that extra level of stimulation, right? That extra level of, oh my gosh, this shouldn't be happening, I gotta fix it, or I gotta run from it, right? That fear-driven stimulation that comes from the idea that life is unfolding in a way that it shouldn't. I want you to consider, what would life be like if you didn't have that? And what I'm gonna take a guess, okay, that you think, is that if you didn't have that, right, if you didn't judge things as wrong, if you didn't judge things as bad, if you weren't upset about them, if you didn't have that stimulation, right, that adrenaline rush, that you wouldn't do anything with your life ever again, right? That you'd never be motivated to change anything, that you'd never be motivated to do anything. And if you didn't judge things as right or wrong, then you're going to just be stuck in this thing that you hate in your life forever. And what I'm going to suggest is this, okay? This is the exact opposite of the truth, right? This addiction to drama, this addiction to being stimulated, this addiction to always having something pressing, right? That fear response that we're constantly being thrown into when we watch TV. Like literally, even if you don't watch the news and you don't watch what's going on in real life, you're going to notice that like literally every TV show, right? Every TV show is geared around stimulating you, right? If you're not watching real violence, you're watching fake violence. If you're not watching real drama playing out between people, you're watching fake drama being played out between people. You're being constantly jolted in your adrenal glands literally all day long, no matter if you're in fictitious world or real world. And again, I believe it's because we as a human race have gotten to this place where we genuinely feel like that is what creates change. We're really convinced that if we don't have the drama and we don't have the excitement and the stimulation, that we're never going to move forward, that we're going to be stuck where we are forever. We're always going to be where we are, or we're going to get taken advantage of, right? We're really convinced that if we're not on guard, if we're not watching out for that drama, if we're not watching out for those scary people coming into our country, if we're not, right, in that state of heightened awareness, that we're going to get killed or taken advantage of, or something terrible is going to happen to us. So this is what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that this, this addiction to drama is systemic, and it goes deep, and it has a positive intention, because everything has a positive intention. We're not addicted to drama because we're silly and stupid, okay? We're addicted to drama because we genuinely believe that if we don't have that drama, that we're going to miss something, or we're never going to change again, and then we're going to be stuck where we are forever. And so how do we start to come down from this, right? How do we start to move in a way where we can live our lives with less and less and less drama? So I'm just going to tell you what I did in my life, okay? And this is not coming from a place of saying that I have no drama in my life, because I absolutely create drama for myself in my life, all right? However, I definitely create far less drama for myself in my life than I used to. And so, like, back in the days when, just everything in my life, I used to create like a massive story and a massive drama pretty much around anything that happened in my life, right? I used to make up all this meaning for what was going on in my relationships, and what was going on with my body, and what was going on with, like, all of these things. And again, so what I started to do was, and I mean, like, this is kind of my advice for everything, but it's definitely the best piece of advice that I can give in this situation with drama especially, is that when you start to notice yourself going down your drama rabbit hole, right? The whole making whatever it is that's occurring in your life mean something massive, right? So for me, my best example was always my body stuff, right? Whenever I gained 5 pounds, or I got puffy or swollen that day or whatever, it used to be this massive drama, right? And at first, I believed that that was just normal and natural, and there was no other way to be, right? And so, like, if I gained 5 pounds, I thought I had to freak out, right? I had to melt down. I had to create all this meaning in my life of how it was wrong and bad and shouldn't be happening, and figure out why it was happening and try and get rid of it, right? And then one day, I actually, what changed this for me was I saw my friend, like, trying on a pair of jeans or something, and she was like, oh, these are too tight, right? These used to fit, these are my jeans, they're too tight, and so I must have gained a little weight. And it was like no sweat off her back. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, she just had something occur in her life that has occurred in my life many, many times. And the way she reacted and responded to it was completely different than the way I react and respond to it, right? And then in that moment, I realized, okay, there's a choice. I have a choice. I don't have to freak out when I gain 5 pounds, right? And so the next time I gained a little bit of weight, what I did was say, okay, right, I want to freak out. I want to create this drama. But instead of that, I'm just going to sit with the feeling of what it feels like to gain weight. And I'm going to investigate why this freaks me out so much, right? So instead of going all down that drama rabbit hole of what the drama wanted me to do, right, what the stimulation wanted me to do, what the adrenal gland thing wanted me to do, I sat with the feeling and investigated what was really going on. And you're always going to discover, and I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but, like, I want you to explore this for yourself, right? That the real root of all the drama in our lives, like, globally and individually, is that we genuinely believe whatever just happened means love goes away, right? And so so we create this big drama. The real root fear is that love is gone, right? And love is going to go away, and now we have to do whatever we need to do to get it back. And so if you take your dramas and the things that you know that you create drama around, right? Like, you can't just find peace within, you always react crazy, right? Just pause and watch yourself. What are you making it mean? Why are you making it mean that? And where are you believing that love has gone away? And can you love yourself inside of that? And I know that's a lot, okay? But even just to consider that you are addicted to drama and that you can have a dramatic thing happen without reacting, that's huge, okay? So let the dramatic thing happen. Watch yourself not react. See what happens, okay? So like, share, subscribe, share your thoughts, do all that fun stuff. joint Patreon. We meet 3 times a month, and that's really fun. And I will see you in the next video. All right. Mwah.